This PHC Wrap Up Show from the 2022 NCHA Metallic Cat Futurity is proudly presented by Foresight.
Hi everybody, welcome to day 16 of the NCHA Metallic Cat Futurity. Joined again here with Mr. Bradey Davis. Welcome, Bradey.
Welcome, glad to be back.
Yeah, so here we are. We have completed non-pro second go-around of the Futurity, and then we've just had a couple of finals tomorrow. We're going to kind of step back a little bit and kind of recap that second go-around of the non-pro. Ended up taking a 427 to advance to the finals, a little lower than what the bubble prediction was initially.
Yeah, cows had a lot to do with that. They got pretty tricky, and there for a while it was going to take less than a 427, but still way less than the 429 predicted.
Yeah, I think just the last couple of horses bumped that bubble up to a 27, so unfortunate for the 26 and a halves, but that's cutting.
Yeah, that's cutting.
In the intermediate, it ended up taking a 426 and a half to make it back to the finals in that one, and in the limited it was a 420. The leaders in all those three divisions, leading the non-pro is Brandon Westfall on Riptide. It's a metallic rebel out of Laguna Girl, owned by Russ and Janet Westfall.
And Brandon shows so good.
Oh man,
he's so smooth.
He's won this event before. He knows what it takes, and I feel like we haven't even seen the best of that horse yet.
No, we're just cruising through the go-rounds.
Leading the intermediate, going into the finals, was Beth Rocky aboard the Kindred Spirit, smooth talking style out of Classical CD, bred by Dottie Sinclair Hill, owned by Justin. And Beth, she's had an amazing show.
Oh my gosh, and we're going to talk about her more here in a minute, but she's had a fantastic show. What a good horse for her.
And speaking about another talented cowgirl making a name on the scene here, Emma Grace Rapp. How about that? She's showing Jimmy Kemp, which is a Kid Meekin Blue out of Rosie Blue, bred by Mark Holler, now owned by Phil and Marianne Rapp. Cool story behind that one. That was, like I said, it was a Mark Holler bred horse, and that horse had some cutting training initially. Then it got into the team roping side, and then somehow Ryan Rapp ended up seeing a video or seeing this horse. I think he went out and worked it out at Cody Headland's place, and they bought it for not a lot of money. And here he is, double finalist, and also a non-pro semifinalist.
Very cool story. And Emma, I've seen her show all year long, the youth. She is doing so good. Her showmanship, she just looks so smooth on her 3-year-old.
You know, and she's obviously followed behind Ryan and with Phil and Marianne, so she's been watching all of them, and she does a lot of the hard work behind the scenes. She does most of the loping for all those, for the whole family. And it's great to see her kind of shine now. I mean, she's really coming to her own here.
Exactly, and it's cool to see the whole family do it together because it's a family sport to them, and they get to participate and they all root for each other. It's really cool.
Yeah, shout out to the Rapp Ranch, advancing 5 out of the 6 entered in the non-pro to the semifinals. So pretty good stats there. Phil's doing good. He's catch riding a couple this year, and he's got one back for a dime that he's riding, the Hoddish stud. So they're having a good show. Let's talk a little bit about the sires with multiple offspring advancing to the semifinals. It's kind of narrowed down a little bit now. We've got Boon Too Soon with 4, Don't Stop Believin' with 5 coming back, Dual Smart Ray with 4, Hashtags and the Highbrow Cat both have 2, Hoddish has 4 coming back, Metallic Cat and Metallic Rebel both have 3, Raising the Cash has 6, as well as Smooth as a Cat, and then Smooth Talking Style with 2, and then Stevie Ray Vaughan with 8, still leading the stats. Pretty impressive. They're continuing to shine.
Very impressive. And still, Stevie Ray Vaughan, he's still on top with the most advancing.
Yeah. And then going into the mare side, that's also narrowed down. We've got 2 mares now that have both their offspring that were entered here advancing. Button Down Super Cat, with no surprise, and Pink Caddy as well. So for the Cowans. So both those mares well represented here. We have 12 riders in the non-pro advancing to the semifinals with multiple horses. So they got both their horses back. Quick shout out to Blakely Simino, Christina Cox, Emma Grace Rapp, Katie Benuelos, Kathleen Moore, Kristen Gallion, Lindy Ashlock, Megan Miller, Michelle Cowan, Nadine Payne, Ryan Rapp, and Bill Count. So the Cowans are having a good show too.
Now you just named off a lot of good hands right there.
And they're pretty consistent here at Fort Worth too.
Very.
Yeah. Well, Bradey, we just last night we had the 3-year-old intermediate non-pro finals. Unfortunately, the cattle didn't want to play quite as much as what the contenders were ready to.
No, so that's what makes it so cool to watch Beth Rocky's run. She come in there and the situation was not very good. She slipped it there and just made it look easy. Yeah, and made it look easy. You know, and obviously a good horse helps, but it doesn't make it any easier when the cows are trying to smoke you. You know.
Well, and she's been studying this. I mean, if you've been around the sport, you know Beth Rocky's a staple name, and she's worked a lot with Morgan Cromer and some other trainers too, and she's kind of doing her own training, on her own horses and Justin's horses a lot with the help of Morgan and some of the others. And she, I mean, it was just pure just a veteran, watching a veteran there yesterday. I mean, she'd kind of seen what was going on. She wasn't trying to override her horse. She was trying to just be clean, and that horse has enough eye appeal and did enough, and you know, the judges paid her for it. I mean, she went to the lead, I think, by about 8 points in that first set.
Exactly. That showmanship at its finest. It was like a good late night 5 novice class sneaking through there, you know.
Yeah, and that was on the Kindred Spirit. Smooth Talking Style out of Classical CD. She scored a 218 last night, winning $11,016. Reserve champion Bruce Turnbull on Smooth as Ray, another Smooth as a Cat out of Flow Dancing with Ray. He marked a 16 last night in that second set, winning $10,689, and you know, he's having a good show as well.
Yeah, we're going to talk about him here in a minute, but that's been a good horse in the Open. It had a good run there too. You know, really cool Smooth as a Cat Gildan.
Yeah, and then rounding out the top 3 last night in the intermediate was Nelson Knight. Bought Albert, a Metellus Cat, bred and owned by the Slate River Ranch, making a 215.5, winning $10,363. Great to see the Slate River Ranch, you know, in the finals, especially with Nelson aboard.
Yeah, and I think him and Mr. Glade marked big scores in the go-rounds yesterday. I think 19s yesterday. They had a good go-round that morning.
Yeah, pretty solid program there. Yeah. Well, then this morning we switched gears. We went to the limited non-pro finals. Cattle still tough.
Very tough. They didn't change any from last night.
Yeah. Yeah, and Bruce Turnbull stepped it up a notch. He went from second last night to getting the championship to this morning with a 219 aboard Smooth as Ray, winning $4,900. And you know, how consistent, how cool is that?
Oh man, and it's just that horse through the rounds in the Open and the non-pro has been consistent. They're going to win a lot of money on that horse as a 4-year-old, but it's good to win it now at the Futurity.
Yeah, yeah. And then Emma Grace Rapp was reserve champion on Jimmy Kemp. Continuing their run, a 215 this morning, winning $4,721. And then rounding out the top 3, Daniel Summers with a 212 aboard Remain Anonymous. Rosie Blue, it's a Smooth as a Cat, I'm sorry, out of She's Sensational. So they won $4,542. So that wraps it up for the, you know, for the non-pros for right now. They're going to get a little break. We've started the amateur rounds this morning. I believe we've got 5 or 6 days of amateur go-round.
Yes, and we have a few 7 o'clock morning starts, so don't forget that.
Some 10-set days.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure and pay attention to the schedule. The World Finals, I mean, it's been fun over there watching all that. They're going to kick off again tomorrow with some of the other classes. They start at 9, I believe,
Yes,
over
sir.
in the Watt Arena. And then coming up on Friday, there's been a little bit of a schedule change to the Wrap Ranch sale preview. So what they're going to do, we've got about 80 horses signed up, the 2-year-olds that are coming out to preview. We're going to try to just push it all into one day, and that'll free Saturday up, obviously, with the 4th round of the non-pro and open finals going on there, the World Finals. So that is going to be starting at 10 o'clock at Wrap Ranch. They will preview in catalog order, so starting with the 1000s all the way up through the 2000s. And like I said, we've got about 80 head there. It's going to be a fun day, and it's going to be cool to see those horses there. Evan Moffat's going to be there reading the black type and doing some of the color. So be sure to come on out and check that out. We've also got the Kering Cutters charity auction still going on. That's going to wrap up on Open Semi-Finals Day at 5 p.m. Lots of great items up there for bids. There is a truckload of shavings on there, the Queen bedding shavings that are on there. So if you're already a user or you'd like to try these shavings, there's a great way to get in on that, and it's a tax deductible. So you're buying a truckload of shavings as a tax deduction and going for a great cause. You know, we help a lot of cutters throughout the year with this charity and do a lot of behind the scenes work. So we're excited to see that, and there's a lot of other great items on there as well. So Bradey, it's been fun so far, and we're getting into the nitty-gritty now with the amateurs.
Yeah, we're on the downhill slide now.
We're on the downhill slide, yep. And so it's fixing to get busy, like I said, with World Finals still going on. We've got sales coming up next week. It's going to be a busy time there. I know the Western Bloodstock booth has been very busy this week. Lots of people checking out 2-year-olds over there and other ones as well. So
this is my favorite time of the show. This is when it's all wrapping up, the sales, the World Finals. It just seems like everybody's here, so you get to see everybody, and I don't know, I just enjoy this part of the show, the end of it. Not because I'm ready to leave, but it just seems like all the good stuff's starting to happen, the finals and stuff.
And the cream has risen to the top.
Yeah.
And it has. So anyway, thanks again to Foresight for this PHC wrap-up. Be sure to join us on CHC Live Scoring, and we will see you down here in Fort Worth. Thank you.
This PHC Wrap Up Show from the 2022 NCHA Metallic Cat Futurity is proudly presented by Foresight.